Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of my Defender training series. Before we start, the last video when we started, I mentioned that I had 199 subscribers, and today, as you can see on the screen, I am blessed to have 254 subscribers. So thank you so much, guys. You are having that subscription rate increasing and then having that comments and likes actually motivates me a lot to do more videos of this kind. One of the many comments was about adding this Defender onto a Windows 2019 server. So today we will discuss about how to onboard, or what are the options to onboard a Windows server, especially a 2019 server, onto Defender portal. So let's get started. So to onboard a Windows server, there are many options available as per this documentation. For example, you have few options to onboard. You could use the Microsoft Monitoring Agent, Defender portal directly. On the portal, you have an option to select from endpoint security settings onboarding. You have an option to select the server and then use a local script or group policy, or even you could use a system center configuration manager to onboard and deploy Defender. But my take, or I would love to see, is to use the security center from portal.azure.com. Go to security center and then you have an option to basically enable Azure Defender. So we have a 30 days trial. I'll try to use the 30 days trial. What it actually does is, for each server, VM or non-VM, it charges $15 per server per month. But with this additional integration using Azure Security Center, you get a lot more than just a Defender for endpoint kind of protection. You will get a vulnerability management, just the way you have done your threat and vulnerability management. Azure Defender has its own options to show you if your server has vulnerabilities, if there is exposure to threats, and then it will help you to detect and quickly respond to protect your servers from any threats. So my personal take is, I would suggest, if you have the budget, I would always suggest to keep this $15 per server as an option. Trust me, $15 might sound a lot, but I think if you cut down all other things, you probably could rely on this particular interface and the security center to actually proactively manage your server's security. So let's get started. I'll use my pay-as-you-go account, and as you can see, Azure Defender is off here, and when you turn it on, you get a continuous assessment and security recommendation. Very good option. You get a secure score, and along with that you get many more options, including threat protection for Azure VMs and non-Azure VMs, including a server EDR. And as you can see down below, you have options, the Defender options for all, the pricing, and then you can turn on or off those features. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select Defender on. I'm not enabling everything, I just want only the servers, so I'm disabling everything else, keeping this on, and then it says, by clicking save, Azure Defender will be enabled on selected resource types. 30 days is free, so you can test and see how it works. I am just clicking on save. So with this, you will need to create a workspace ID, and you will use Microsoft Monitoring Agent, where you deploy that onto server. You could use any deployment method, but because I have only a single server now for testing, we'll just deploy it on that machine. And the monitoring agent should connect to Defender ATP or Defender for endpoint, send the signals out, and then you will see the server on the Defender portal. And at the same time, you could use the security center to see your posture of your server as well, security posture of your server as well. I might pause it for a while because generating this, activating it might take some time, so I'm pausing it, and then I'll resume back once the portal is available. So now the Defender trial is enabled, and my Security Center portal startup screen looks like this. So you have an option, as you can see, pretty much every options are loaded now. You have a getting started window where you can actually get all the details. If there is VMs, Azure VMs already on your subscription, you can install agents automatically from here. So you just need to select your subscription. If there is any unprotected servers, it will be displayed here, and you can click on the install agents. Now, since we don't have any Azure VMs, what we will gonna do is to install the agent manually. Once installed, you will start seeing recommendations on what to be done. If there is any issues, it's all gonna populate here on the controls that you can keep. It's a nice way of knowing your environment, getting a score rating, and then eventually improve your scoring, which in terms improve your security. So let's look at how to add your server manually here. So I'm on my inventory. I have an option to add non-Azure servers. So you click on that option. First thing to do is to create a new workspace. So we'll select create new workspace, and subscription, you can use an existing resource group or we can create a new one. I would say Azure Security resource group. I created a new resource group, and then instance name, you can say Azure Security instance. Just anything that actually according to your standard naming convention. You select the next, and I'm selecting the pay as you go because I have my credit card added. If you have a CSP subscription, you will be charged from that CSP subscription. You could add a workspace and be charged for that. Tax is fine, so we'll just create, review and create. So now it's only creating the log analytics workspace where all the logs from all these server agents, the Microsoft monitoring agent is loaded. So I'm creating this workspace now. We'll just refresh this and then wait for the new workspace to load. For some reason, maybe it is because of I have the trial, the new workspace that I created is not showing up. But again, we have a previous workspace, so I'm going to use that. I just click on upgrade on this particular workspace. I was testing it for my Azure information protection, which again, eventually we will do a video on Azure information protection and classification. But so for now, so the workspace is activated. You click on add servers from the Security Center. Here you will get agent option to download the agent. It could be a Windows server or a Linux server. So download this 64-bit agent if your server is 64-bit. To make it easier and faster, I have downloaded this on my server. So I'm gonna double click that agent. So while configuring, so this is the monitoring, Microsoft monitoring agent setup wizard. I agree, next. So this is where we say connect Azure Log Analytics OMS, and then this is where you need to enter your workspace ID and workspace key. So let's copy your workspace ID and key. Copy the workspace ID. Workspace key, we'll use the primary key. You don't need to make any changes here. If you have any proxy settings, you can make changes on the proxy settings and just click next. So question is Microsoft update to keep up your computer up to date. Recommended. We'll check. When I check for updates, use Microsoft update. Install. So once it's installed, and if your network allows all these URLs of Security Center. There's a list of URLs which maybe I can share the documentation on the description of this video. If the port is open, the URLs are open, then this is gonna send the signals to the Azure, and then it starts collecting information, which we'll see after how long. I'm not sure how, I don't remember how long it takes to actually start generating. I've been using Azure Security Center for my other non-VMs, not 2019 servers. I've been using it for old servers that I have and my work. So as I mentioned, it's very useful for me. It could set a monthly report on what's happening on my environment. So one thing to verify your Microsoft Azure this monitoring agent is to go to your control panel, and here you should see something called Microsoft Monitoring Agent. I'll just use the large icons. Yeah, on the Microsoft Monitoring Agent you should see that it's connected to the Microsoft Monitoring Agent has successfully connected to Microsoft Operation Management Service. So let's see if you see the list of servers here now. We'll go here, inventory, and refresh. So once this connection is active, you should see your server listed here, and then you can get recommendations. Again, because it's a lengthy process, I keep pausing in between and then let it take time to load. And once the server is loaded, maybe I can give you more information on it. But again, as any other systems, it takes time, maybe a day or two, to scan the device, validate against the current standards and updates, and to give you the right scores. It might take some time. I'll try to show you on this video. I'll try my best if it is not taking too much time, but let me pause again and then let it load, and then I'll show you what the result is. And we are back. So I waited for some time. As you can see, the portal is loaded with a few more details. You have some insights here, but let's look at from the inventory side. From the inventory, now you should see the new Windows Server, which is an on-premise machine, and it has some recommendations. So let's look at before I jump into the VM, let's look at the recommendations part. So this is why I like onboarding my server into Azure Security Center using the Microsoft Monitoring Agent. As you can see, it does a resource health check. It tells you what's missing in terms of updates or any protection. So it gives a complete around control on this. It also gives, eventually, once the metric starts collecting details, once the engine starts collecting details, it also tells you what vulnerabilities you need to fix, how to further harden your servers in terms of policies. It could be a group policy or anything of that kind. So I really like taking care of the servers through this portal and through this subscription, because it actually gives me a well-rounded security, and it actually helps me to further harden my setup. So as you can see here, it only started looking at three things for now, three controls, which is says enable Azure Defender, endpoint protection, and here you go, apply system updates. So it already scanned my machine and said it is missing some system updates. As you can see, the critical system updates. So this way I now know that there are updates pending, and then I can take care of with my whatever system that we use. Apart from that, you can come back and then go to the inventory, and then you can go to the specific asset or the specific device, and then get further information or details about it. So you get a list of recommendations here. Unavailable assignment, I see that vulnerabilities in the security configuration is not applicable. I need to maybe look at more and see what, but usually with my 2016 servers, that gives a list of all the vulnerabilities, all the hardening procedures that we need to do. And from the server side, you would not see much changes. You will see on the security center, that the antivirus is up and running. So this is how you onboard a server, especially a 2019 server, and get Windows security enabled and further monitor your Windows server. I hope you like this video. Please feel free to share any comments or feedback, and then we'll come back with another video very soon. Thank you all once again. I hope you're all safe. Keep learning, and then we'll see you soon with another video. Take care.